a.m. with Aaron Williams. The hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Thursday night that finds us, well, that much closer to Super Bowl 60 Sunday, Seattle and New England. The winner gets the Lombardi Trophy in the final game of the NFL season. You know, I was thinking about this morning, and it's like this every year, but at the end of the season, you kind of put it into perspective a little bit. The Cam Little 70-yard field goal, that feels like forever ago, right? I mean, think about how long ago that was. 5.5 months, almost 6 months ago, that preseason game against Pittsburgh. That was this season. That was preseason, and now we're the final game of the year, but I'm just like, wow, that was so long ago. You really just, at the end of the year, have to put into perspective how long an NFL season is. It does come to an end on Sunday with Super Bowl 60. We will certainly talk New England and Seattle tonight. We'll talk a little NFL draft as well, as after the game on Sunday, all eyes will turn to free agency and the draft. And we will talk a little Gator basketball, as they got a big one coming up on Saturday night, a battle for first place in the Southeastern Conference. The winner of Texas A&M and Florida on Saturday night in College Station will have first place by themselves in the SEC. Guest lineup tonight looks like this, coming up in just about 15 minutes or so. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts will join me, as he has done all year long. We'll talk to Cecil about the Jaguar offseason. We'll look ahead, what to expect there. We'll preview the Super Bowl, talk a little C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans as well. So former Jaguar and a former Texan wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins us in about 15 minutes. Also, Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks, one of my NFL draft guys, and he's been so for years. He will join me coming up towards the top of the 9 o'clock hour as we look at some of the Jaguar young players and start looking ahead to this draft class. Again, the NFL Scouting Combine, three weeks from today, as a matter of fact, they will be on the field doing drills in Indianapolis. So we will begin looking at the draft with Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. That comes up towards the top of the 9 o'clock hour. As always, we're glad you're with us on a Thursday night here in Jacksonville, a cold Thursday night on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Aaron Williams. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, two big deals of the night. I'm going to elaborate on one. We'll save the other one for a little down the road later on this evening. So I'm watching Pat McAfee earlier today because he was promoting the fact that Liam Cohen was coming on his show out on Radio Row in San Francisco. And I wanted to tune in to see what the Jaguar head coach had to say. And I got to tell you something, man. We all watch a lot of coaching interviews. I do, you do, football fans in general. We just watch a lot of these guys on these studio shows. Now, McAfee's got a laid-back setting, obviously, if you watch his show, so it might be a little easier to kind of be yourself if you're a coach in that situation. I thought Liam Cohen today on the Pat McAfee show was nothing short of fantastic. I thought he was fantastic. Just the confidence that he was exuding, the answers that he gave, quite frankly, the chill nature, the coolness factor, if you will, that it came across on the TV screen. I had a couple of buddies texting me from outside of Jacksonville. One said, guys named Liam should not be this cool, which I got a kick out of. I just thought it was a terrific look for the Jaguar head coach. We've come a long, long, long way from Duval to where we are now. I know we all got over that. I never even cared about that, but I know that was a big deal for a while. That's gone to the wayside because Liam Cohen, man, I'm telling you, from 4-13 to 13-4, the bravado he shows and talking about the small market thing after the win in Denver, the whole Robert Saleh thing, which we'll talk about in a moment. He might be that guy. I mean, he might be that guy that is going to, dare I say, be a Sean McVay-esque type guy. What Sean McVay is for LA, maybe Liam Cohen can be here for Jacksonville. I was just very, very impressed by the way the Jaguar head coach handled himself today on that national stage on the Pat McAfee show on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Couple of thoughts that Liam Cohen had. And basically, McAfee just started out with a general question. What were Liam's thoughts on the season here in Jacksonville?
Look, we're all pissed. 31 teams are pissed at the result, right? They are, at the end of the day. But I do believe that the process was successful. The process.
Let's do cut 6. Go ahead, Aaron. Let's play number 2 again. Thoughts on the season so far?
Look, we're all pissed. 31 teams are pissed at the result, right? They are, at the end of the day. But I do believe that the process was successful. The process. Because we talk so much about the process. Process over results. Process drives results. And look, we fell short of the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. But very proud of the group. Extremely proud to get our coaching staff back after year 1. And to do it with James, with Stoner, and Tony. Man, those guys are the best. Really proud of this group.
Yeah, look, I mean, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, Liam Cohen, the trio there did a fantastic job. And I like what he said. Look, 31 teams are pissed, but the season as a whole is a success. I completely agree with that. The way it ended sucked. 25 days ago sucked, losing to Buffalo. But as you begin stepping back and taking stock of what was, obviously, the season was a success. Liam Cohen was also asked by Pat McAfee about being a head coach in the NFL for the first time and basically just feeling comfortable in his own skin.
Dude, that is exactly the hardest thing to kind of figure out. Is like, because I was with Sean. I'm in LA for all those years. You were with Sean. You were with Kevin O'Connell. You were with Zach Taylor. You were so many good football coaches, and you want to take something from everybody. Right? Like you do. But you also got to be yourself.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing that I learned the most. Obviously, throughout this whole process, you're sitting there and you're like, all right, dude, if those players respect me as who I am, like the rest will come. And look, they get criticized in the media all the time. And so, like, hey, if they see their coach kind of doing it and getting it and not flinching, not blinking, hey, we're in this thing together, they'll play harder. They will.
Yeah, look. I agree. I mean, and Liam Cohen was himself. Those post-game locker rooms, celebrations, the whole small market thing, as I brought up earlier after the win in Denver, everything that Cohen did, and we heard Tony Baselli talk about this when we had him on here on 1010XL. I talk about Cohen relating to the fans, and he did. He related to the fans. He was saying stuff publicly that Jaguar fans have been saying for years. Small market, lack of respect, respect's not coming. That was all accurate, in my opinion. And when I asked Tony about it, Tony's like, well, yeah, but that's also who Liam Cohen is. He's a competitive dude. He wants to win. He has a chip on his shoulder. And I do really like that about the Jaguar head coach. Speaking about a chip on the shoulder, look, this is going to be a big talking point. The fact that Robert Saleh is now the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh are going to see each other twice this year and for years to come until one of them is no longer in the division. And based on what happened with their interaction last year in San Francisco, it's going to be a big story, and it's already a big story. McAfee and crew asked Liam Cohen about Robert Saleh landing with the Tennessee Titans.
It is awesome that he's – I mean, what a cool move by Tennessee, seriously. I mean, just to get another quality defensive head coach in this league that gets defense to run around that way, I mean, it's fun for us. I mean, you want to play the best. You want to come – and that's no different for coaches. There's no difference. You want to beat your peers. Yeah. You want to be better than everybody.
Especially when
that's
you
the way it
beat
goes.
the people you hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Johnson, Matt LaFleur.
That's awesome.
Yeah, look, the Ben Johnson, Matt LaFleur thing is a good one. I mean, there's a healthy rivalry there with the Green Bay coach and the Chicago coach. And I know Liam Cohen's and Robert Saleh both are going to downplay it, and there probably won't be as much animosity moving forward as there was on that field post-game in San Francisco. But it's nice to have a little bit of that going into the year, right? That week next year, the first time the Titans and the Jaguars play, that'll be something to watch. That'll be something to behold. That'll be something to look at, and the interaction between the two during that game. Again, summing all this up, I was already a very big Liam Cohen fan. I mean, that's obviously what happens when you inherit a 4-win team that had lost 18 of the previous 23 they had played prior to you getting here, and you, in 1 year's time, turn them into 13-4 AFC South champions. You win only the 5th division title in franchise history. You host only the 3rd playoff game in Jacksonville this century. You tend to become a fan of a guy that does that pretty darn quick. But watching him today on with McAfee and crew on ESPN, again, the guy just looks like he has it. Just the confidence, the fact that in one of the instances, McAfee's got a basketball and a hoop there, and he's getting guys to shoot, and he's going to donate $20,000 to the charity of their choice if they nail it on the first try. And like Christian McCaffrey was on there. He didn't make it. Matt Ryan was on there. He didn't make it. All McAfee's guests were trying to do this. Cohen sitting in this high top chair, takes the ball, leans back, and just drills it on the first try. Just drills it. And it was at that point when a guy out of the market that's in the same industry as us here on sports radio texts me and goes, man, guys named Liam are not supposed to be this cool. I just get the sense that if you watch that today and you really didn't still know that much about Liam Cohen, it's hard not to like the guy, or at least it's hard not to respect the guy. I just think it was a really, really good look for the Jaguar organization and for Liam Cohen today on a national basis. And hopefully that continues, because I'll tell you, the Jaguars are going to be a popular pick in 2026, depending on what happens, obviously, with player personnel and free agency and the draft and understanding all that. But the last time I checked, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., Trayvon Walker, Joshua Hines Allen, Jordan Lewis, Antonio Johnson, Foye Oluokun, all of those guys are back, right? I mean, there's questions about Devin Lloyd. Travis Etienne's a big one, certainly. Greg Newsome, Monteric Brown, a bunch of veterans like Gardeck and Patrick and Wingard. But the core nucleus of the team, I mean, the guts of the team, is all under contract for 2026. So there will be a ton of expectations on Jacksonville in the coming months of the offseason, and with good reason, because any team that can go from 4 wins to 13 wins, you have to wait and see, but you have to be very excited about what they may do as an encore in 2026. 904-641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts always welcome here on a Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Another thing that I wanted to get into, and we got to go quick here because we got Cecil Shorts coming up in less than 10 minutes. We'll elaborate on this more. I'll elaborate on this more in a bit. But because it is Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 60 of these things. Can you believe that? You know, I am obviously a sports fan. That's why I do what I do every night here on 1010XL. I would imagine you are sports fans. That's why you listen to Hacker After Dark, and that's why you listen to us here on 1010XL, and we certainly appreciate it. We cannot possibly tell you how much we appreciate you listening. It goes without saying. But our sports fandom, my sports fandom, your sports fandom, all began somewhere, right? Maybe it was your mom or your dad or a older sibling or your grandparents, uncles, whatever, or a specific game, a specific moment, a specific instance, we all became sports fans. And most of us, I would think, can pinpoint and tell you what game or what moment made us sports fans. I know exactly when I became a sports fan. Exactly. And it was during a Super Bowl. I even know the date. And I've known the date forever. It was January 27th, 1991. And that was the Super Bowl in Tampa at the old Sombrero between the New York Football Giants and the Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl 25. So, man, you got to go back 35 years. Talk about a feel old statement on a Thursday night. And I think one of the main reasons, Aaron, is that game to me was because I had just gotten my first VCR. Are you old enough to appreciate what a VCR was?
Of course I am.
Okay, you're 10 years younger than me. Trust me, there are people 22, 25 driving around. They're like, a VCR? What are these guys, in the Stone Age? No, 1991, you had these things called VCRs. And you put these things called tapes in the VCR, and you could hit the record button and record what was on your TV. That's before DVRs and everything along those lines. So I recorded, because I was 7 years old and I was fascinated by the idea of a VCR. I recorded Whitney Houston singing the national anthem in Tampa, and I recorded Jeff Hostetler and the New York Giants taking on Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills. Did not have a dog in the fight. I didn't know who these teams were the first time I watched it. About the 50th time I watched it, I knew the rosters verbatim. I could tell you about Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith and Andre Reed and Steve Tasker and James Lofton. For the Giants, I could tell you about Pepper Johnson and Rodney Hampton. Jeff Hostetler, obviously. And I also could tell you about Scott Norwood, the kicker for Buffalo, who missed from 46 yards out. Wide right, Giants win the game 20-19. Maybe not that night, but in the subsequent weeks as a 7-year-old, when I watched that game back on my VCR over and over and over, that game, Super Bowl 25, Giants-Bills, Jeff Hostetler winning it for the Giants, Norwood missing the kick for Buffalo, Whitney Houston singing the national anthem, that game is probably a big, big reason why I'm on this radio station tonight. I became a football fan. I became a sports fan because of that particular Super Bowl. I'm curious if you guys have an instance like that, a game like that, a moment like that. If you do, hit me up on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Coming up next, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Texans and the Jaguars. Let's talk about Super Bowl 60. Let's look at the offseason to come here in Jacksonville. Cecil Shorts joins us next on a Thursday night here on Hacker After Dark.
The radio station made for you.
My turn.
This is 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
The First Coast Games is an annual team-building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 5th, 1989, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar became the first NBA player ever to score 38,000 points.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out, equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers.
Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, black and red fish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
Hi, I'm Leslie Weed, founder of the HEAL Foundation, helping enrich autistic lives. Thanks to the players, we're funding programs and services for individuals affected by autism and related disabilities. 33 days until the players.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll treasure forever? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds this Valentine's Day. We've curated a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets, set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. At Beard's, we've got it all under one roof. And right now, we're cranking up the romance with an unbeatable limited time offer. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. Imagine her face lighting up when she opens that signature Beards box on February 14th. Pure magic that lasts a lifetime. Guys, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. And that gift is on major sale right now. Plus, Beards is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family owned and community strong for over 45 years. Right here in the St. John's Town Center. Not some Wall Street chain. We're your neighbors, and we're here for you. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Super Bowl goes on Sunday afternoon, Seattle and New England. Who would have ever thought these are the last 2 teams remaining? We'll talk about the Super Bowl. We'll obviously spend some time on the off season, and we'll take a look back on the Jaguar season that was with a former Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver, my buddy Cecil Shorts, who's been so kind with us all year long here on 1010XL. Cecil, how we doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How about yourself?
Cecil, we're good. Thank you so much for the time. Certainly want to talk about the Super Bowl with you. Before we get there, though, let's take a look back on the Jaguar season that was. You and I haven't spoke since the loss to Buffalo in the playoffs. A lot of positive things, Cecil, but certainly not the way anybody here wanted it to end.
No, not the way nobody wanted it to end, but at the end of the day, I think you exceeded everybody's expectations for this season. Going 13-4, I believe, being able to be in the playoff game and you fight your butt off there. Things didn't go your way, but overall, a really good season. I think there was a lot of excitement coming in from the draft with Travis Hunter. There's a lot of excitement throughout the year, how Devin Lloyd started the year off early, how Trevor came on the end of the year. So a lot of positives throughout this season, even though it didn't end how you wanted it to. I think now the most important thing is, okay, how do you continue success, right? That's one thing I think Jacksonville has struggled with is how do you maintain the success that you've had in previous years? So now that's the question for Gladstone and company. Okay, what do we need to do moving forward in the draft and free agency? Who do we need to keep? Who do we need to bring back? Who do we need to draft? And it's not like you got a first round pick, right? So in previous years, you had an early pick. You picked top 10, top 5, whatever the case may be. This year, I don't think you pick until around 60.
Yeah, number 56 will be the first one, yeah.
56. So you gotta that's on Gladstone to find the gems, right? Find the guys that can really make an impact in different areas on that team. But it's a good position to be in. It's a good position to be in after a stellar, I would say a stellar season that nobody really saw coming.
I want to take a look at the offseason and some big decisions that are coming in the coming weeks. But quickly, I mean, you had 3 head coaches alone during your 4 years here in Jacksonville. You certainly know what it's like to play for first-year head coaches. As a former player, how do you assess Liam Cohen's job in year number 1, taking a 4-win team all the way to 13 wins?
Honestly, he has to be in the Coach of the Year runnings. I know he is, but he has to be in the talks of like really winning the award. The way he had his team believing in him, the way he had his team fighting for him, the way he had his team out there playing well, figuring out how to win. We talked about that multiple times, RG, that they'll have success. Now it's about how you handle the success, right? Because there was talent all over the board, but he did an amazing job. Coming in, it's hard to establish a culture. It's hard to get guys to believe in what you're doing. It's hard to really get guys to buy in and trust you. And he did that at a fast rate and had some lot of success early on. So I think when the guys started to believe and buy in and started falling in a routine, good things happen. And I only see us, I see him continuing to ascend. So I think he does a good job being a player's coach, holding guys accountable, and getting the most out of his guys.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts, a guy you've been very high on for years, is Parker Washington. Cecil, I mean, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown is an example. Could not turn into Amon-Ra St. Brown until he was given the opportunity to turn into Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'm not saying Parker Washington is going to be the next Amon-Ra or the next, Jackson Smith and Jigba, but guys need an opportunity. And Parker got an opportunity, and in the last 5 games, he was one of the best wide receivers in football. I mean, how ecstatic should Jaguar fans be for him moving forward?
He's special. He has a certain dog in him. He has a certain maturity, a certain work ethic in him. And I think the biggest thing is Trevor trusts him. Over the last 5 games, he was getting targets and making plays because Trevor was throwing him the football. Trevor's going through his progressions, and he was trusting the guy to get open and be in the right spot. And that says a lot for Parker Washington, man. I had a chance to watch him up close, high school a little bit, throughout college, and this dude can be really, really productive in this league. So I'm excited to see him continue to ascend, continue to see how Liam Cohen can use him, continue to see how Trevor and him kind of continue to build that relationship and really have some success on the field.
Grant Udinski was a finalist for the coaching job in Cleveland. Anthony Campanile was a finalist for the coaching job in Arizona. There was also some talk about Udinski in Buffalo. Yet at the end of the day, Cecil, both coordinators will be back with Liam Cohen in 2026. How important is that?
It's huge. That was one of my favorites for Jacksonville. You have a good year, and then you kind of split up the coaching staff a little bit because you have a good year, right? And that's just part of the job. That's just part of how things go. But for Trevor, for that offense, for that defense to really continue to come together and to continue to build that chemistry, especially for Trevor Lawrence, it was huge to keep those guys together. Great job by Gladstone, upping the pay a little bit. And then understanding, hey, if we can keep him as long as we can, let's keep him because he's a true asset to what we have going on. And the success that was going on and the time he put in to keep with, talking about Udinski, the time he put in to keep, stay with Trevor and build that relationship and build that playbook in the system and really have him be comfortable in the system, that's a big deal. So when you can keep key coordinators on your staff, it keeps the players happy, it keeps familiarity there. And it's kind of like the same language being taught over and over again. So it's a really big deal. For myself, like I had said, I had 3 head coaches in 4 years, so there's different languages every single offseason, different languages almost every single year. So to have the opportunity for Trevor is a really big deal.
Couple of more for former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. All right, let's take a look at some key decisions that are coming up. First and foremost, you mentioned Travis Hunter. Cecil, with the emergence of Parker Washington, the extension for Jacoby Myers, and you certainly have Brian Thomas Jr. still in the fold, and the knowledge that both Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome are unrestricted free agents, does that lead you to believe Travis Hunter might be more of a defensive back in 2026?
I would think so, especially coming off the injuries coming off of. I would just say, hey, focus on the defensive side. I think you need reassurance in the secondary. I think you need that help in the secondary. And I think that should be his primary position going into this season. He can still spot sparingly, and you see how special he is with the ball in his hands, right? So you can still give him a package sparingly if you want to, but I think 90% of his plays he should be a full-time starter on defense. That's just my thoughts. I think if you could solidify a lockdown corner back there, which I think he can be, and he can really work his technique, really get technically sound with certain things, use that length he has, that athletic ability he has, he can do some serious damage in helping this team progress. And honestly, you don't have to add somebody in free agency or add somebody when you have somebody like him in that secondary. So I think he can be a true asset at cornerback. And then again, if you want to continue to keep him in that special area of offense, just have a 5 to 10 play package for him. He can come in every now and then and play, but I think his primary position should be cornerback.
Of those two corners that are free agents, Newsome and Brown, what's your thought on their futures here?
You know what? I think they both had some struggles this year. You traded for Newsome, and I'm not sure he did, kind of live up to what we expected or what we needed. Brown, I wouldn't be surprised if they signed Brown back, but I think that's a position of need going into the offseason, whether that's draft or whether that's free agency. Maybe you can get somebody better in free agency. I believe you're a little bit over the cap, but I think you can do some damage if you go out there and bring some heavy hitters in. I'm not sure what that looks like and how the cap situation is, but I know one thing: if they want to make the cap situation work, they can always make it work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they let both of them go, but I would say try to keep Brown, and if you can, let him compete for a spot, and then possibly let Newsome walk.
The two big free agencies, so one on offense, one on defense. We'll begin with Devin Lloyd. They did not pick up his fifth-year option, and I don't blame him at the time. And then Devin Lloyd goes out and has a career year, which is great for him going into the offseason. It looks like it's going to be very, very hard for Jacksonville to keep Devin Lloyd financially.
Yeah, he had a heck of a year. He bet it on himself, and I agree with you. I wouldn't have gave him a new deal. I wouldn't have extended it, so let him play it out, and he did his job as a player. He played a heck of a job. I want to say at one point he had a turnover in a numerous of games in a row, and he was a leader on that team, somebody that you would like to sign back. But if you can't, that's a hole in that middle of that defense that you need to figure out ASAP. Again, whether that's draft or free agency, you need to figure that out, because he was a playmaker, he was a leader, and he was an anchor on that defense this year.
If they lose Devin Lloyd, they're going to bring somebody in. Also, Ventrell Miller is in-house. He might be the first guy up that has a shot at replacing Lloyd. And then the big one also on offense is Travis Etienne. That might be the more complicated one, because I think they could probably bring Etienne back if they wanted to. The question is, will the dollars make sense on that one?
That's a tough one. You drafted some young guys that showed some promise. We all know how the running backs are treated nowadays. The older you get, the closer you get to 30, the more carries you get, the less money you get, the less your value happens, right? And Travis had a heck of a year, especially the first half of the year. Personally, I would want to see him back, and then you can see the development from the younger guys, right? But it got to make sense on both sides. It got to make money. It got to make sense for both sides as far as the money, right? You can't put too much into him. He has had some injury history, but at the same time, Travis he's earned it. He's proved he's one of the best guys in the league. So That would be an interesting situation to watch. And personally, I would want him back. I think he's a great player. He can do things in the passing game and the running game. And that's just another option that Trevor has. And Trevor has a unique relationship with him going back to college. So that's somebody I would definitely try to bring back.
Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Cecil, I want to end with the Super Bowl. Quickly, your other former team, the Houston Texans. That was not good to end the year for C.J. Stroud. Is there concern about Stroud going into the offseason out there in Houston?
I don't think there's concern. I think eyes are raised. I think eyebrows are raised. I think there's a sense of urgency to fix the offensive line. There's a sense of urgency to see him improve, right? We want to see, and people in Texas, they want to see what we saw the rookie year. And they really haven't seen that consistently since then, that type of production, that type of gameplay. He's had good moments and really good moments. And then he's had moments recently where he struggled, you know what I mean? Whether it was a Pittsburgh game or the last playoff game they just played against New England. Where those turnovers are just not it. And it's not just CJ, right? But he's a quarterback. He's going to take the blame of it or take the blunt of the hit. But he's somebody that needs to improve, needs to protect the football. And my prediction, I don't think they, and they may, because Nick Caserio does a good job with cap management and giving guys kind of beating the jump and signing guys early to I hate to say millions are cheaper, right? But a cheaper deal than what he potentially could get, right? In the 50 and 60 million a year. He may get, 30 to 40 somewhere in there. But I think CJ has a big offseason ahead. I think he'll be quiet this offseason. I think he'll be focused and locked in. And I think Nick Caserio and company there will really focus on just improving the offensive line and improving the team as a whole, right? There's so many areas they can improve in. They had a good year. Like they came along strong towards the end. That defense is outstanding. Now it's about just tightening up some things on offense, and you're back in the hunt, right? So they're not far off. They're in a good position. Just got to stop turning that ball over, and I'm sure they'll be locked in this offseason.
And clearly in 2026, it appears it'll be a Jaguar-Texan battle once again for the AFC South. Cecil, leave us with this. Super Bowl on Sunday. I don't know who had the Patriots and the Seahawks at the beginning of the year, but that's where it landed. What's your thought? Who wins the Lombardi Trophy on Sunday evening?
Well, you didn't hear my prediction. I picked Seahawks and Patriots way back. I'm lying. I didn't pick anything. I wasn't even close. I think Seattle's the hot hand right now. I think on all three phases, whether it's special teams, offense or defense, you've seen them dominate with different moments in the game, different moments in regular season, different moments in the playoffs, right? And Sam Darnold's playing lights out right now. It's just hard to go against that type of story. I love to see the underdog prevail, and for what they're doing, their defense is dominant. They're able to run the football well. Their offense is just outstanding, and then their special teams, man. I mean, I would be scared to kick off and punt to them. I would be nervous. That they're just headhunters on all three phases, and they're a special, unique group that I don't think nobody really saw coming. So I think McDonald's doing a heck of a job out there. Not taking away from Vrabel either. Vrabel's in the Coach of the Year conversation. We were talking about Liam Cohen. Vrabel's in that conversation as well, going from a 3 and whatever season, 4 and whatever season to the Super Bowl game, right? Drake May is somebody I think is up and coming. I just think the better team overall is the Seattle Seahawks. So I would predict they win. In a touchdown, maybe a 10-point game.
Former Jaguar, former Texan, and of course also a little former Tampa Bay Buccaneer action as well. My buddy Cecil Shorts. Cecil, thank you for this season, man. I really, really appreciate you coming on every week. We'll take a month or so off. Once free agency comes around, we'll probably dial your phone to see what the Jaguars, and for that matter, the Texans, ultimately did. But thank you, brother, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, sounds good. I appreciate you, bro.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bolt City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
After attending a Saturday Bumps and Bruises clinic by Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, my son's hip and shoulder issues were diagnosed quickly, and he's back playing. As a busy family, we really appreciate their prompt attention.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Roses are red, Florida gets hotter, and your AC is about to ruin the mood. If your system barely survived last summer, now's the time to replace it before the real heat comes back swinging. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning makes it easy. No surprises, no runaround. And with our Sweetheart AC deals, get $750 off a new AC system when you install by March 15th. Fall in love with an AC that keeps it cool without the stress and call now for a free estimate. 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 11th, and culminates with a Daytona 500 on February 15th. This week, you can win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500, February 15th.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pool. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
There's joy in every RV journey. Your journey starts at the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday, February 5th through Sunday the 8th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display with lifestyle booths. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get $1 off Thursday. Military and first responders get $1 off every day. Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Well, Trevor, first offseason healthy in a long time, man. It is. So to have that continuity with the ability to have your offense coordinator back, your pass game coordinator back, your quarterback coach back, I mean, that's huge. I mean, he literally didn't throw last year all spring until, I don't know, June or whatever it was. So you're working on the lower half, which was awesome. You're working on the upper half, which was awesome. But we got to do that without seeing the result of a completion or not. It's like, all right, dude, let's just get your footwork right, the head, the mind, the progressions. Now to be able to put it all together this spring, I think it'll be fun.
This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
The thoughts of Liam Cohen, Jaguar head coach, on Radio Row earlier today. That was on the Pat McAfee show, talking about Trevor Lawrence being healthy for the first time in an offseason in a couple of years, certainly. Remember, this time last year, Trevor's arm was in a sling because he'd had shoulder surgery, and he was coming off that ridiculous dirty hit at the hands of Azeez Al-Shire. So Trevor's healthy, and you heard Liam talk about having Grant Udinski back, Campanile as well, but he was talking about the offensive guys. Your coordinator's back, your passing game coordinator is back, the staff in large part is all coming back, which from a cohesiveness standpoint is absolutely enormous. Speaking of Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, the reason they are out there in San Francisco, well, among the reasons they are out there, is the NFL Honors Show. Comes up in about 15 minutes, where they will name the award winners. We'll find out who's going into the Hall of Fame tonight as well. Remember, Liam Cohen is a finalist for Coach of the Year. Trevor Lawrence is a finalist for Comeback Player of the Year and Most Valuable Player. Now, I don't expect Liam to win Coach of the Year. I don't expect Trevor to win the Most Valuable Player award. But let's just think about this from where we were, say, on August the 1st. Rewind the clock back in your Jaguar fandom to when you were out at the Miller Electric Center watching the first couple of training camp practices. Or even take it a little more recent to when you entered Everbank Stadium on September 7th, opening day, against the Carolina Panthers. And if I would have told you that game that, oh yeah, Liam Cohen is going to be a finalist for the NFL Coach of the Year award, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be a finalist for the league's Most Valuable Player, you would have flipped. I think as we get further removed from the Buffalo game, and I think it'll really take effect beginning next week after the Super Bowl, when everybody's back to 0-0. You know, we kind of talked about this on the fifth quarter that night after the game, and I've mentioned it here on Hacker After Dark, as have many other shows here on 1010XL. As much as that loss to Buffalo sucked, and it did, it sucked because you thought Trevor was going to drive him down there, get Cam Little into field goal range, make a kick, go to overtime, see what happens, and then for it to get intercepted and for the season to end as abruptly as it did, that was a bad couple of days to be a Jaguar fan. I feel your pain on that one. But now we're 3.5 weeks removed from it. We're about to go full steam into the offseason as the Super Bowl will come and go on Sunday. Now you can start putting into perspective just how special the year was. And we will start doing more of that, next week. But it gets put into focus tonight at the NFL Honors Award Show that Liam Cohen is one of the 5 guys up for the NFL Coach of the Year award. There are 32 coaches in the National Football League, right? Only 5 of them got nominated for the NFL Coach of the Year. There are, 53 times 32? That's a lot. There are a lot of NFL players, 1,500 plus, right? Only 5 got nominated to be a finalist for the NFL Most Valuable Player Award. It was a special year for Trevor Lawrence. It was a special year for Liam Cohen. And to be among the finalists tonight at that award show is an awesome, awesome accomplishment for both guys. Coming up next, back into the NFL, a little talk about the Super Bowl. About 15 minutes or so away, Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane's been one of my draft guys for years. He was out at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. He'll be up at the Combine in Indianapolis in 3 weeks. NFL Scouting Combine. 3 weeks away. The Jaguars currently sit with 11 draft picks overall. And even though they don't have a first rounder, they have 4 picks in the top 100. We'll start taking a deep dive into this draft class with Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks That comes up in less than 20 minutes. We're glad you're with us on a Thursday night here at Hacker After Dark in the city of Jacksonville on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Yo, it's your main man ET here for Blue Chew. And guess what? Blue Chew tablet isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code. Blue Chews provide access to chewable tablets that help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, longer. It's like someone gave you downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. No awkward doctor visits and no uncomfortable waiting rooms. It's nothing worse when them nosy behind neighbors are looking at your packages and then asking you questions. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I got this. Blue Chew is simple, it's discreet, and delivered straight to your door. And let's be honest, this isn't just for you. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. And guess what? I got a special deal for our listeners. Get your first month of Blue Chew on me. That's right. Just use promo code 1010XL and you pay $5 shipping. That's it. Head over to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. Use code 1010XL, then just chew it and do it.
Jacksonville is thinking teal, and so are Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. It's Jaguars Today, breaking down everything Jags and NFL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Weekdays 10 to noon on 1010XL.
When women lead, communities thrive. Hi, I'm Liz Grebe from the Jacksonville Business Journal. The JBJ and PNC Bank invite you to join Women of Influence, a powerful celebration honoring the women who are driving change, breaking barriers, and shaping the future of business in Northeast Florida. Come celebrate their impact, connect with leaders from across our region, and leave inspired. Women of Influence, where leadership is recognized and influence is celebrated. For tickets and more information, visit jbjevents.com.
Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida. And inside the flip side, the action never stops. If you're tired of hearing about the best games after the final whistle, don't get left on the sidelines. Whether it's a unique sporting event you've never seen, a weekend with the family, or a winning date night, Visit Jacksonville is your ultimate playbook. Get in the game. Head to visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app today and see everything coming in 2026. Jacksonville. Experience the flip side.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins, but act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Approaching halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We talk about the NFL Honors Award Show. Some of the votes are starting to come out about some of the awards. Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, wins the Assistant Coach of the Year, beating out Broncos DC Vance Joseph by 7 votes. Brian Flores received 8 first-place votes. Anthony Campanile received 2 first-place votes, but ultimately Josh McDaniels does win it with 17, but I'm happy that Campanile did get recognized. He finished, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tied for 7th in the voting for the Assistant Coach of the Year. We know the NFL is going to play 9 games outside the United States of America. Jacksonville will obviously be included in at least one of those with the game in London, the opponent to be determined. But, ever so slowly we're starting to find out some of the teams they're going to be playing in these games. The NFL is going to play a game in Australia in 2026. That's Australia, which I believe is 16 hours before us in time difference. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States of America. That would make it 1 o'clock in the afternoon over there in Australia. So I'm not exactly sure what time that game will kick off in 2026, but we know the 2 teams that are playing in it, and it's a pretty big game. It's the San Francisco 49ers, and Aaron, it's your Los Angeles Rams. You are a diehard Rams fan. Your reaction when you saw Rams-Niners, big game in the NFC West that's going to be played in Australia next season.
Yeah, it's just another game to the players. That's what they'll say. I think it's cool that they will be the first time being over in Australia.
It's a long trip, man.
Trip, but, it's McVay will have the boys ready and everything. It should be a good turnout.
I would imagine that's costing you guys a home game, would be my guess.
I think the Niners are the home team.
The Niners are the home team?
I think so, if I read that correctly. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Niners are the home team.
Wow, that's surprising. Okay, well, the Niners are the home team in Australia. And then coming out tonight, there's also a game that's going to be played in Rio, in Brazil. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to get that opportunity. We don't know who their opponent's going to be yet, but Dallas in Rio, and we know 49ers versus Rams in Australia. Again, a total of 9 games will be played outside the United States in 2026. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell earlier this week said the ultimate goal is to play 16 games outside the United States every year, and one would think that would mean every team plays 1 game outside the Continental 48, or I guess the United States as a whole, in the near future. Also, big news in Super Bowl week. Will it actually happen? Who knows, but I'll let you know about it. Jay Glazer out there of Fox Sports telling people that he believes Max Crosby has played his final game as a Las Vegas Raider. Now, Max Crosby is basically Mr. Raider, at least for this generation. He has been a team-first guy. He has very rarely complained. He has apologized to Raider fans time and time again over his 7 years in Las Vegas or Oakland for what has, quite frankly, been a horrific product the Raiders have put out there. But it does appear, at least reports are, that Crosby's time in Vegas could be coming to an end. Now, the question is, what is Las Vegas going to want in return for Max Crosby? Because it's not going to be cheap. From a Jaguar point of view, I would highly, highly doubt it, because it would cost you maybe 1, 2 future firsts. You don't even have a first this year. But if you're a contending team and you think you're 1 pass rusher away from making a run, Max Crosby potentially is available out in Vegas. And Jay Glazer made it seem like it could happen relatively quickly this offseason. We'll ultimately see what happens with Max Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders. NFL Draft comes up April 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Pittsburgh. The Combine is 3 weeks away. We're already done with the Senior Bowl. That transpired last week in Mobile. Let's look at the draft class. Let's look back on some Jaguar rookies last year with a guy I've had on for years. My buddy Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks does a terrific job covering the NFL Draft, and he joins us next on a Thursday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. It's Hacker After Dark.
Watch this. The ignition code.
1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
They give their best physically and mentally.
Listen for the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Scholar Athlete of the Week, tuned up by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesday afternoons on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are 2 important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The 2-stage coating application? Sure. But nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
Listen up, Googans. Hicken here, still talking skin. This time I want to give you some great advice for Valentine's Day. Look, don't buy anything that either dies or adds pounds. Go see the girls at Beaches Dermatology and get a gift card or even a specific skin treatment, one that will enhance her beauty, maybe even help her look like she did when y'all first met. It's possible. Skin treatment is very important, and a gift from Beaches Dermatology makes a perfect gift this Valentine's Day. For locations, go to beachesdermatology.com.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, Just call me First Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater Irrigation
and drainage too.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Super Bowl 60 comes up on Sunday. The Patriots and the Seahawks. After that, it's full steam ahead into the offseason. And obviously a big part of that is the NFL draft. The Senior Bowl already in the rearview mirror. We got the scouting combine 3 weeks away up in Indianapolis. And the Jaguars currently sit with 11 picks overall, including 4 that will be in the top 100. Let's look at the draft class. Let's look at some of the Jaguar young players as well with one of our guys when it comes to the draft. He's been so for many years, Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Shane, it's been a little while, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's fun. We're definitely getting knee deep into the 2026 draft process for me. Senior Bowl was this past week, so everything's just heating up. I'm excited for the offseason after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's your time of year. You and I haven't spoke since the Jaguars capped off a 13-4 campaign. Certainly not the ending, Shane, to the year that we wanted here in Jacksonville, losing on Wild Card Weekend. But how would you assess year number 1 for Liam Cohen here in Jacksonville?
I think it has to be an A grade. I'm sure for most people out there, if you had told them this was going to be the record, that they would have taken that in a heartbeat. I think the Jaguars showcased what their upside is, especially on offense, and how the defense can perform when given the opportunity. So I think it was a great job by Liam Cohen. It was a great job bringing a lot of these younger players around. It was some of the best that we've seen from guys like Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. Parker Washington, for example, this season. So I think the future is very, very bright.
I want to ask you about some of the Jaguar veterans in a moment, but we only saw 7 games of Travis Hunter, and we never even saw Caleb Ransaw. The rookies that we did see were Bashal Tutin, who I thought looked good at times. LaQuint Allen Jr. looks like he certainly has a future in this league. And the offensive linemen, Wyatt Milam and Jonah Monheim, I think proved that they could be starting caliber players in the near future. So even though Hunter and Ransaw, the jury is still out on them, I thought the draft class last year overall did some nice things. What's your thought there?
I thought it was a good draft class as a whole, even with the Travis Hunter trade and the injury. Was it all really worth it? We'll see how that comes to fruition. But I really thought running back wise, spending 2 day 3 picks on Bashal Tutin and LaQuint Allen, to me, they look like players that could take that next step and be kind of a duo to start for the Jaguars in 2026. I would not be opposed to letting Travis Etienne go unless he comes pretty cheap, and letting these two head it up, maybe signing a veteran as well. So I thought that was great. You mentioned the 2 offensive linemen. I thought both Milam and Monheim showcased that they could be future starters, or at least swing backups that can play for you. So that's positive. I think that's about as good as you can hope for in a draft class. And if Travis Hunter comes along, they find the place that suits him best, and he performs even 80% of expectations, then I think this 25 draft class is going to go down as one of the better ones in recent Jaguars history.
Shane, Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome are free agents, so that means, possibly more DB looks for Travis Hunter. And then, like we said, the 3rd-round pick, Caleb Ransaw, never even saw the field. You have to think that he's going to factor in to a safety spot. So those 2 guys, it'll almost be like their rookie campaigns all over again in the Jaguar secondary in 2026.
I really do hope that we get more corner looks for Travis Hunter. And I think the moves made toward the end of the season kind of set that up, right? With Jacoby Myers signing that longer term deal, Parker Washington kind of breaking out. I think you feel comfortable with Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, and Parker Washington being the top three receivers for the team. And to me, that means, hey, Travis Hunter should play more corner. It's going to be a weakness, losing some of those starters at cornerback. And I think that's, to me, that was always where Travis Hunter was going to be his absolute best. I think putting him in a position to be the best he can be is much more important than trying to get this unique unicorn two-way player to just work. Let's put him where he's going to be the best for your team and build the rest of the team accordingly.
Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane, final Jaguar related question from last year before we start focusing on the draft. You mentioned Parker Washington, whether it's him or Brenton Strange, Antonio Johnson's another one. Clearly there was some drafted Jaguars that had career years in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that 2023 class looked a lot stronger after the season with Washington and Strange, as he mentioned. I thought Anton Harrison got better as the year went on last season as well. So I think that 2023 class is another one that maybe we didn't really get the full sense with how the team was shaped. And Liam Cohen was able to come in and his staff able to get the best out of some of these younger players that they have. And to me, that's just the mark of a good coach able to develop young talent.
All right, Shane, let's start looking ahead to this draft class. You've already done a ton of work on them. Senior Bowl already in the rearview mirror. And look, even though the Jaguars don't have a first-round pick, the interesting thing is they still are going to have 4 picks in the top 100. They got a second rounder, and they have 3 third-round selections. So what are your thoughts on Jacksonville having 4 day 2 picks?
It's a really tough draft class to me this year. I think it's a weaker year as a whole, especially kind of in that middle to late first round, which benefits the Jaguars in a way. I don't think there would have been a huge difference in talent between their late first round pick and these second round picks and day 2 picks that they have. So to me, it kind of shapes up well that the Jaguars traded away their pick, had a good season. That late first round, there's not going to be a first round graded player available for them there. So, it might be a bummer not to have anything happening on Thursday night. But ultimately, I don't think they're losing a ton of value not having that first round pick.
It's interesting you say that. And again, I'm just really getting into the draft process over the last couple of weeks. And I've had some guys on, and you're continuing this narrative that, look, there's probably 12 to 15 first round grades, and then there's a drop off after that. Is that how you would assess this draft class?
I would. And I think most draft classes have some type of, higher end. Here's the first round picks. It drops off a little bit. I just think this year's class is a little bit weaker. I think we're going to see a lot of players drafted in that 10 to 30 range that typically would be, very late first round, early second round picks. So I think just that talent level does fall off even sharper than we see most years. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think you're going to see wide receivers pushed up the board that shouldn't be going in the first round go in the first round. I think we'll see some defenders, maybe positions like linebacker and safety, get drafted in the first round that don't typically get drafted in the first round. And that's where you're going to see those kind of positional values change a bit.
Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane, by all indications, Florida Gator defensive lineman Caleb Banks had a wonderful week at the Senior Bowl. What's your early thought on Banks here in the draft process?
I thought he had a really strong Senior Bowl week. To me, he's been kind of locked in as a top 5 defensive tackle in this class, and you could have him as high as the second best defensive tackle in this class. I thought what he showed was that low pad level that he won with at Florida so successfully. He did that consistently in those Senior Bowl one-on-ones, and we saw him get penetration, able to push bigger and stronger, even offensive linemen back. So I was really impressed. I think Caleb Banks Banks has a chance to go in the back end of the first round. It's going to depend how many teams address the interior of that defensive line. That is one of the positions that's pretty strong on the top 100 is the defensive tackle position. So that could knock him into round two, but we've seen plenty of round two defensive tackles be successful. Ultimately, I think he's a day one starter when the time comes for Banks, whenever team drafts him.
I want to ask you about Fernando Mendoza in a moment, but because we are here in Jacksonville, a guy that went to high school 10 minutes from here and just played for a national championship, and Carson Beck, what is your thought on Carson Beck's draft stock right now?
He's a tough one to assess. I really thought he could have used a Senior Bowl week. I thought he should have been down there, could have probably been the best looking quarterback or close to it in Mobile. And instead, he did not attend any All-Star games. So it's going to come down to throwing at the combine and the interviews for Beck. I think he's a fringe day two prospect. What we saw in the playoff against Ohio State, for example, I think is a round two, round three type of talent. But we also saw a game where he's throwing multiple interceptions and missing receivers, just very inconsistent play from an older quarterback prospect who shouldn't make those type of mental errors that Carson Beck did make in some games last year. So to me, I feel comfortable taking him kind of in round four. I think Beck will be a strong backup in the NFL who can come in for a game or two and not kill your offense, has that leadership, has a little bit of the mobility and movement ability. Right now, he's my 5th ranked quarterback in this class.
Shane, as we begin to wrap up, we're 2.5 months away from the draft. You can almost put in pen already Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders at number 1. Do you agree with that? And what type of player do you think Mendoza will be in the NFL?
I agree with that. There just is no one else worth that number 1 pick. And if you're the Raiders, you got that pick, you got to spend it on a quarterback, and you don't get this opportunity very often. I think Mendoza's a great prospect. I don't think he's on the level of a generational or even, a top 20 quarterback in the past 20 years, anything like that. But I think what Mendoza does is delivers the ball accurately, the leadership, the intangibles. He does what it takes to win the game and put his team in a position to win the game, knows what his receiver strengths are, can read the defense well, really strong between the ears, has a good enough arm. It's not great. It's not on the level of a Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams. Mendoza's not on that level, but he is someone that I think can be a franchise quarterback, be the 10th to 15th best quarterback in the NFL. And I think that would be a success, taking that at the number 1 overall pick at this point. And Mendoza certainly can be that. He comes into what's going to be a really good offensive system for a young quarterback with Clint Kubiak stepping in. You get some of that kind of Shanahan, just deliver things on time, make easy throws, know what the defense is doing, don't make mistakes. And he has Brock Bowers. He has Ashton Genty. If they can improve the offensive line, I think Mendoza can have a really strong first season and career.
Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane, as we say goodbye, the overall class, right? Give me a position of strength in your opinion, and give me the biggest position of weakness as we stand right now.
I think the edge rusher position is a strength in this group. We're definitely going to see guys like Ruben Bain from Miami, Keldrick Falk from Auburn, David Bailey from Texas Tech, TJ Parker from Clemson go in the first round and have an impact. I think there's been a disparity already in the NFL where the pass rushers are better than the offensive linemen. This class is going to reflect that. To me, that there's 15 edge rushers that I think could be in a rotation, be players who get significant playing time as rookies. So that's pretty strong as a whole. In terms of weakness, it's got to be the running back position. We have Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, who's going to be a first-round pick. He's on that Ashton Genty type of level. After that, I think it's really hard to love any other running back in this class. His teammate Jadarian Price is probably the number 2 back in the class, and he wasn't even a starter in college at any point. I think you're kind of reaching for that, and we're hitting a point in the NFL where I think a lot of teams need a running back or need a number 2 running back to shovel the load from some of these starters, and it's just not coming down the pipeline So I think that's going to be a tough find. That's why I think the Jaguars, what they did last year, taking Bashal Tutin, I like Bashal Tutin better than most of the running backs in this class. He'd probably rank RB 5 or 6 for me in this class. So that might end up being a steal in the 4th round. I think he's a better starter than most running backs in this class.
Shane, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville about Draft Sharks and the coverage you guys will have in the coming weeks.
Head over to draftsharks.com, especially if you play fantasy football. We have rookie rankings for dynasty leagues or for your redraft leagues. But we also have, if you want to know about the skill positions, we break all those down. We have profiles on Jordan Tyson, the receiver of Arizona State, the 2 Notre Dame running backs up on the site right now, and Kenyon Sadiq, the top tight end out of Oregon. So check those out.
Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane, I know you're busy, man. Thank you as always for the time, and we'll do it again soon, pal.
No, thanks for having me, Ryan.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
Listen to this crowd. How about them Jags?
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, the regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or CSSOutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
Put the ball in the net with 60 minutes of soccer talk. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
What's up, Duval? I'm Chad Valamek, owner of Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran-owned pool company for over 10 years. We specialize in new pool construction and pool renovations, built on military values, integrity, communication, attention to detail, and honor. Now is the perfect time to start your pool project, so when the heat hits, your pool is ready. As an Iraq War veteran and Purple Heart recipient, pride in what I do is everything. Let me show you the difference in how my team and I execute your pool project with military precision. Call Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group, 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Thank you to Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. We're going to switch gears, talk a little Gator Hoops coming up in just a moment. Neil Blackman, Saturday Down South, joins us in less than 10 minutes. Not only did Liam Cohen make the rounds on Radio Row today out in San Francisco, Trevor Lawrence made the rounds as well, as he is a finalist tonight for the Most Valuable Player Award and the Comeback Player of the Year. Remember, Trevor's season ended abruptly last year with the dirty hit that Azeez Al-Shire put on him. He had off-season shoulder surgery, and now he finds himself as a finalist for the MVP and a finalist for the Comeback Player of the Year. Trevor was on with our buddy Mike Florio and Chris Sims earlier on out in Radio Row in San Francisco, and he was asked about being a finalist for both awards tonight.
Yeah, it means a lot. I think just to get the recognition's cool. You know, it's a team game. You can't ever do it by yourself. So there's a lot of guys that are a part of that. And obviously, you don't really want to. It's not necessarily a comeback player of the year. It's not something you set out to win, because you don't want to necessarily have the injury and have to do all that to come back from. But to be in this position, I think it says a lot about our team. You know, the people that I work with. There's a lot of people that help me as far as just physical therapy. You know, my trainer, coaches. I put in so much work this offseason. Really, from the day the season ended and had surgery, I was in the building pretty much every single day until, you know, we lost to Buffalo in the wild card. So, I mean, there's so much work that goes into it. And I think for that, to shed some light on that, not just for me, but for everyone that's involved in that, is really cool. And just for our whole team. Obviously, who knows what will happen? Who knows who will win it? But I think it's a step for me. It's a step for our team. And you gotta, like I said, quarterback's got to play well to go win these big games. And just excited to get another shot at it. You know, we got to start from the ground up in April, but it's going to be fun. Yeah.
The thoughts of Jaguar quarterback Trevor Lawrence. One of the things he said as well, which I thought was interesting, he was on with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco on their podcast, and he was asked about Travis Etienne. Now, I think the common thought among most of us here in Jacksonville is that Devin Lloyd is probably gone, right? Devin Lloyd had a great year. Probably is going to outprice himself, and with good reason. I mean, he deserves the money he's going to get, but the Jaguars are a little bit cap-strapped, and it just doesn't appear that Devin Lloyd is likely to be back in Jacksonville. Travis Etienne is another one that probably may not be back in Jacksonville. I think there's a little more question there, and I'll just read this quote verbatim. When Trevor was on with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco and asked about Travis Etienne, Trevor said, quote, "I'm hoping we get Travis back. He's a great player. I think we have the relationship in our building where our input is valued." Take that for what it is. Obviously, I mean, the relationship that Trevor Lawrence and Etienne have from their time back at Clemson up through Jacksonville. I mean, they've been teammates for 8 years. 3 years in college, and now, 4 years, I guess 7 years. 4 years in the NFL, so 7 years they have been teammates. No, is it 8, 21, 22, 23, 24? Yeah, it's 8 years. They've both been in the league 5 years now. So 8 years as teammates. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, I would assume, does not want Travis Etienne to go anywhere. Again, I think Devin Lloyd is the one that most people think is gone. I don't know if there's as much clarity on ETN's future, and we're going to have to find out pretty quick. It's February 5th. You can begin negotiating with free agents on March 9th. I mean, you're talking, what is that, 32 days? Yeah, it's 4 weeks from Monday until NFL free agency starts, and you can officially sign guys when the league calendar starts on Wednesday, March the 11th. More on the Jaguars coming up later on tonight and tomorrow, certainly here on Hacker After Dark. But coming up next, let's get into Florida Gator basketball. They got a big one on Saturday in College Station. Texas A&M lost last night to Alabama. That drops them to 7-2 in the SEC. The Gators are also 7-2 in the SEC. Winner of Florida Texas A&M on Saturday will have first place outright by themselves in the Southeastern Conference as we enter the middle part of February. That's pretty good from where Florida started, right? They were 5-4. Then they were 9-5, but 0-1 in the conference. They've won 7 out of 8. They've won 10 out of 12. They find themselves back in the top 20 in America, and they will head out to College Station against the Aggies in a big SEC tilt. Neil Blackman, Saturday Down South and the Florida Basketball Hour podcast, joins us next here on a Thursday night in Northeast Florida, and we're glad you're spending it with us right here, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
There's joy in every RV journey. Your journey starts at the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday, February 5th through Sunday the 8th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display with lifestyle booths. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get $1 off Thursday. Military and first responders get $1 off every day. Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller. I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Born in Jacksonville before moving to Philadelphia, John Chaney was remembered for his legendary tenure as the head coach of the Temple Owls men's basketball team. The Hall of Fame coach led Temple to 17 NCAA tournament appearances, which included 5 NCAA regional finals, and won 6 Atlantic 10 conference titles. Chaney had 741 wins as a college coach and was twice named the National Coach of the Year. I'm RJ Saunders, and this Black History Month profile is brought to you by Instant Keys, fast professional locksmith service.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
It's your boy, Big Sirs, your lemon pepper guy. And we're in the red zone for the big game. You know I don't play when it comes to Wingstop. Here's the play call. You got to pre-order your wings by Saturday to beat the rush. Spend $50 or more, and I'm going to help you score a free large ranch. Just add the large ranch to your cart and use promo code BIGGAME. And check out that Wingstop app or wingstop.com. Spend just $50 on Wingstop pre-order by Saturday and add that free large ranch with your promo code BIGGAME.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, what a showing for the Florida Gators on Sunday. A dominant 100-77 victory over Alabama. Florida now 16-6, 7-2 in the Southeastern Conference, and they have won 10 of their last 12 ball games. Let's talk about what's going so right now for Todd Golden and the Gators with Neil Blackman of Saturday Down South. Neil's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Neil, it's been a little while, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we always appreciate the time. All right. 100-77, and maybe as impressive a stat as you'll see all college basketball season, 72 points in the paint for Florida on Sunday. Neil, it was a dominating performance.
Yeah, it's about as well as they can play. I know after the game, Boogie Flan said he thought that they could play better. I'm not really sure how. They only had 2 turnovers also in an SEC basketball game, which is pretty preposterous. That was a season low in the league. So they just did it on both ends, outscore Alabama 25-0. In points off turnovers, Alabama's came into the game number 1 in the country in transition offense. They got 3 points in transition against Florida, which is what happens when you don't turn the ball over. I just think just a tremendous performance. And what I think Florida has figured out is, they only made 3 3-pointers. They don't need to shoot a ton of threes because their front court's so good. And in Boogie Flan, they're now learning that they have a guard who's excellent at getting into the paint and commanding help and then finding people without turning the basketball over. So, the common thread in Florida's 2 most impressive wins, Ryan, right now is Flan has played well. The front court has been pretty much like this all season, with the exception of the hiccup against Auburn where Kana didn't play well. But they've got a formula now, and obviously it's starting to come together.
Well, it's been 2 seasons. You had the 9-5 start where they were losing heartbreakers seemingly every way possible against Duke and UConn, Missouri, Arizona, and now they've won 7 out of 8, including the blowout win over Alabama. And you mentioned the front court. We'll get to them in a moment. I agree. They've played well basically the entire year. Is it, Neil, a matter of now Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee, and Isaiah Brown and Urban Clavstar are just simply playing better in the backcourt?
It is. That Clavsar hitting shots does give them a shot maker that opponents have to respect. And then they get enough, at least so far, from 3 from everybody else. They only took 13 yesterday. Tommy Houck took 6 of them. But Boogie Flan, to me, is kind of the key to all of it because he's so good defensively, and he's been, Todd Golden said yesterday, he's been pretty darn good defensively all of SEC play for sure. Most of the season, he did not start the year great in any capacity, but he's come on lately. And, Xavier Lee's minutes have gone down. It's not – now, Xavier had the great game at Vanderbilt, and obviously they'd love to get him going. But they feel comfortable with where they're at with Urban Clavsar right now offensively to kind of play him in what baseball people would call the high-leverage minutes, right? High-leverage opportunities are going to Clavsar with Lee on the bench. Flan is the guy that's going to play 35, 34, 36 minutes a night. And if he's going right – I think the ceiling for this Florida team is extremely high.
Neil Blackman, SaturdayDownSouth.com. Let's talk about Ruben Chinyelu. Look, I thought that he last year was a Donnell Harvey kind of guy, and what I mean by that is terrific rebounder, great defender. And now all of a sudden he's morphed into Udonis Haslem or Patrick Young. He's still giving you the great defense, but he's finding points in the paint. And on Sunday, not only was he scoring the ball, that 35-second period where he played defense on 2 of the best guards in the conference, there may not be a better defensive effort in the country this year than what we saw Chinyelu do on Sunday.
Yeah, I thought that was the defensive play of the season. I saw, you and I are not in we're not a small group on that. If you go onto social media, there's a ton of basketball people that were just marveling at it, particularly the fact that it started with LeBaron Philon, who's going to be an All-American, and then there was a switch, like you said, and it was another one of the league's best guards, and he handled all of it. The building went berserk. Florida, just fed off that energy and continued their run. Just really tremendous. He's going to win SEC Defensive Player of the Year at this point. I think it's kind of fait accompli. The question is, has he gotten into the National Defensive Player of the Year conversation? This Florida team, and Todd Golden has said this since November, they need to be a team with the defensive first identity. They're not a team with an incredible shot maker like Walter Clayton Jr. That's obvious now. They weren't ever going to replace that backcourt anyway. If you talk to folks around the program, they knew that. But they're starting to embrace what they are, which is a gritty basketball team that out-physicals you, doesn't get outworked for 50-50 balls, and, just really guards. And obviously Chinyelu is right at the middle of that. And as you said, it's a credit to him. It's a credit to Carlin Hartman, the big man coach, all of Florida staff. He is much improved offensively. And when he gets, to that left shoulder, it's been pretty clinical this year. So they're going to get offense from him too, that's a bonus.
I want to go to Alex Condon next. Obviously, the outside shot has not developed the way he would have liked it to, but aside from that, you talk about physicality, defense, rebounding, passing the ball, scoring the ball at the basket. Condon's done everything Florida could have hoped for this year, correct?
That's a great take, and I'm glad you said that because I think he can't control the fact that he was named a first-team preseason All-American. And I think the expectations between that and between being the guy that people remember as the guy on the floor at the end of the national championship game, there were just this. I think the expectations were too big, and the reality is he's averaging 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists a game, which you take from any front court player in America, and that's just marvelous. The shot isn't going down. I don't know I don't know what's going on there. It's strange because he shot 33% out there his first 2 years. So normally you'd be happy with that shot. But they've done a good job adjusting. They're getting the ball to him lower. He's getting the ball down at the elbow or the free throw line now. And he's such a good passer that he still makes people better as long as he receives the ball in areas where he can threaten to score. So Florida has made the nice adjustment. And to your point, I don't think anybody and including Chinyalu, I don't think anyone in the country plays harder than Alex Condon. I mean, he is constantly the player on the floor at the end of the national title game is who he is. He's constantly diving for balls. The chase down block that he had yesterday was really special. If not for the Chinyalu play, we'd be talking about that more. He's had a good season.
Final moments, Neil Blackman of Saturday Down South. Let's quickly get to Tommy Houck. He's in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year, correct?
Yeah, he should be. If Florida wins the SEC, he should be the SEC Player of the Year. I do think they kind of need to win it for that to be the decision that voters make. I'm not always for that kind of formula, but Tommy's not the best scorer in the SEC. He's not the best passer in the SEC, the best rebounder, but he's probably the best player. He has the Chinyalu and Condon motor. His work rate is ridiculous. Florida needs his work rate for their offense to work. He's the guy that cuts the most. They play through him, especially when Condon is not on the floor. And he, at least the last few games, has been Florida's most consistent perimeter shooter. And he's the guy that Florida kind of goes to. He's not going to Walter Clayton you back into a game. But when Florida needs a basket, they go to Tommy Houck, and oftentimes he delivers. He's an incredible leader and about the nicest kid you can be around. He certainly deserves to be considered for SEC Player of the Year and maybe an All-American.
I want to preview A&M with you in a moment, but to Todd Golden for a second, Neil. I mean, when they were 5-4, and even when they were 9-5 and 0-1 in the conference, boy, it would have been easy to say, woe is me, right? We're coming off a national championship game, or win. We lost our top 4 guards from last year, 3 to the NBA, 1 to the transfer portal, who happened to go to your arch rival. It would have been easy to say, this just isn't our year. We're losing all these heartbreakers. But, boy, Golden, you mentioned Hartman, this staff have gotten to work. And the fact that they went from 5-4 to now 16-6 and 7-2 in the SEC, that's quite a job by this staff.
I think it is. I think, and you mentioned A&M, I think, but for Bucky McMillan, Todd would be in a lot of SEC Player of the Year conversations. Maybe he'll still get into those. There's still 9 games for Florida to play. He has said, and they take great pride in the way that they're very deliberate about how they schedule. And he said, maybe we got out ahead of our skis a little bit. We knew we were going to have a new backcourt when we made this schedule. And so maybe it wasn't the greatest idea to play a semi-road game at Arizona to start, a true road game at the hardest place to play in college basketball in Duke, and basically a road game at Madison Square Garden, which they call Storrs South, right, against UConn. So, and all 3 of those games were nail biters. They shouldn't have lost the TCU game. They'd all tell you that, but they never. This staff is never going to stop competing. And I think they have the best big man coach in the country in Carlin Hartman. They have 2 of the best developmental guard coaches in Torian Green and Corey McCray. It's an incredible staff. They win at the margins. And they're poised to win a long time in Gainesville as long as Todd likes coaching in college.
It's a big one on Saturday as far as games in early February go. The top two teams in the SEC. This will be a big test for A&M. It'll also be a big test for Florida in what should be a really good game Saturday night.
Yeah, A&M is an interesting team. They play a unique style. Arguably their most talented player is out for the season, has been for a while. I think Rashawn Agee is going to be first team All-SEC. It's their kind of front court staple, but a little bit like, say, in Alabama, they have one really good front court player and nobody else in the front court is particularly threatening. They can shoot it. The thing that is so hard about them is, like I said, it's the unique style. It's a little bit like when Billy Donovan came to the SEC. That they're very similar conceptually to the early Donovan teams. They run, they get up and down, they shoot a ton of threes, and then they force a lot of turnovers with a lot of ball pressure, and they play 9-10 guys, so they don't get tired. Florida's going to have to dictate tempo, and then I think Florida has a huge edge on the rebounding, even more than some of these other SEC games. Florida has to win that battle by 10 to 15 to win the game.
Florida, Texas A&M, Saturday night. Of course, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Neil Blackman. Neil, tell the good folks here about Saturday Down South and the coverage you'll have moving forward here on Gator basketball.
Yeah, appreciate it. You can read all my writing about SEC basketball at Saturday Down South, and then the Saturday Down South podcast, Florida Basketball Hour, is devoted to the Gators. So check that out on Spotify or anywhere you stream.
Neil, I know you're busy, man. Appreciate the time. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks, pal.
Thanks, man.
And thank you to Neil Blackman, Saturday Down South, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Neil does a terrific job with Saturday Down South and the Florida Basketball Hour, which is the podcast there about college basketball for Saturday Down South, and we appreciate him joining us tonight as Florida gets ready to play Texas A&M on Saturday. With A&M's loss last night to Alabama, A&M now 7-2 in the SEC. Florida 7-2 in the SEC. So the winner of Saturday night's game in College Station will have first place in the conference outright as we enter the middle portion of February. Obviously, Florida coming off that big win over Alabama on Sunday, and now they hit the road to College Station to play a Texas A&M team that'll probably be pretty angry after they lost a heartbreaker one night ago against the Alabama Crimson Tide. So we certainly spent some time on that. Spent some time on the Jaguars and the NFL draft as well. As, look, the Super Bowl comes up on Sunday. And then after that, it's all about the combine, right? The scouting combine. They will be on the field doing workouts in Indianapolis 3 weeks from today. Kind of hard to believe that, but it goes quick. So we spent some time on the draft, on the Super Bowl, and then certainly looked ahead to the Jacksonville Jaguar offseason. Free agency in the National Football League begins in 32 days. 4 weeks from Monday. So basically a little over a month away from NFL free agency. We'll have clarity on Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne, Greg Newsome, Monteric Brown, among all the other Jaguar free agents to be. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we have a ton of people to thank. Again, Neil Blackman of Saturday Down South. Thank you to Shane Hallam of Draft Sharks. Shane's been one of my draft guys for years. We will certainly have him on fairly regularly leading into April's drafts. We appreciate Shane joining us for the first time this draft cycle tonight on Hacker After Dark. And then back in hour number one, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You got him all season long here on Hacker After Dark, and we certainly appreciate Cecil for joining us. And we'll catch up with Cecil periodically during the offseason as well. And we always thank Cecil Shorts for his contributions with us here on Hacker After Dark. Now, we will be back tomorrow night on a Friday to close out the week here on Hacker After Dark, and we do hope that you join us then. Aaron Williams was your producer tonight. Aaron, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday night with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Thursday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night to close out the week on a Friday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Remember the voice in your head?